have to learn it the hard way. So also, we oppose God's word and his thoughts. Is it the lesser trying to contain the greater? We are saying that in the confines of our human reasoning, which is at best extremely limited, that God is wrong and we're right. Correct? Agreed? What presumptions we have. You should be in church this morning. I put it on Facebook. I said, I trust that you will be in church this morning. God is our creator, and he alone could be the cause for us to yield to his wisdom. And after all, who knows better how to repair and maintain and operate something that he created? You don't go, if your car is not working and you need a mechanic, you don't go to a dentist.
No, not hardly.
I mean, in his occupation. Now, a dentist may know how to fix a car, but he's not the mechanic. You want to go to a mechanic, you don't go to a dentist.
Right.
Why are we always going to somebody that doesn't have all the answers or can do anything about it? Not only can God give you the information, he can help you accomplish it. God is the only well, how does a psychologist help you accomplish? How does a psychologist or psychiatrist help you with his diagnosis? How does a psychologist or a psychiatrist help you with his diagnosis? He's diagnosed you as superactive, dysfunctional. So how can he help you with that? He says pills. And the first thing we do with a hyperactive kid is start putting him on pills. That's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
It is.
You need to do this. You're not laughing.
Take the belt to the kid.
Take the belt to the kid and then get arrested. Or you could do like that dollar. I'm sorry.
Yes, I saw
You know that preacher that's got 10,000 church membership, and his church looks like a golden dome.
Yes.
He was correcting his daughter and apparently threw a shoe at her, and apparently grabbed her, and she called 911 and had the police after him.
Oh yes.
I'm glad. You know. Hey, by the way, Janet and Bill, you don't teach the kids in your class how to dial 911, do you?
No.
You know, they're teaching little kids how to dial 911 in case their parents are abusive.
Absolutely. Well, they tell you
Oh,
to do that.
they teach them in kindergarten.
My kids all me the other day.
They called the law on you other day? You know, I'm saying yes today. Here's what your kid will say. I'll dial 911 if you abuse me.
Yes, I've heard that.
I have too, Charles. I sure have.
And I always said,
My kids never said it.
clothes
That's
would be sitting there when they got there.
You know what
Go with them.
You know, I think one time Donald said, "I'm leaving home, Dad." And he said, "Wait a minute, Pauline, Donald's leaving home. Get his lunch."
Yep.
I said, "Charity, I'm leaving home. I'm mad." She says, "Well, how long are you going to be at the church?" Ask her. When I would get mad, the first place I'd go was to the church. And I'd stay there for a couple hours, and I'd come home. And I couldn't remember why I was mad. Boy, we do dumb things.
Yeah, we do.
We sure do.
God is our creator, and he is the only person who can cause us to yield to his wisdom.
Right.
He not only gives us wisdom, he creates in us. Now, can anybody give an illustration how that happens? Let me give you one, for instance. I said, I want this week, when I'm at home, I study upstairs, and I never cut the television on upstairs when I'm studying. It doesn't mean I don't come downstairs and cut on the TV occasionally. So when I'm taking a break from upstairs and I come downstairs, I'll go get me some watermelon, and I'll come into the room and I'll cut on the TV and watch an episode of Twilight Zone. Okay, well then what I did was I said, I need to stay focused on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I
I'm agreeing with you, Charles. Yeah, you have to stay focused on what you're doing.
Yeah, he grinned when he said that.
Yeah, I know, he granted. Okay. And I thought you said, yeah, Charles, you need to do that. Okay. And so I said, I think maybe if I was just stay focused all the time. If I go with the church, I don't have a TV in my home. I know preachers that do, which is all right, I'm not saying that. And I said, Lord, really? I would ask for some wisdom in this, and I went all week without coming downstairs watching TV. What I would do, I'd go outside with my bowl of watermelon and watch the cars go by. I'm saying is, not only do you have a wish for something, on your own you can't do it.
No.
Because the Spirit of God has to create in you something that you can't do yourself. Apparently because, it's not within the human being to do that. God has to do it for you. God doesn't stop being your creator when He created you on the 6th day of Genesis.
No.
He is still creating.
Right.
As in the beginning, when He spoke it and it was done, His word still is powerful and is a creative force, and His word does that.
Right.
Now, I know all of us have said, well, I've tried it, Charles, and it don't work. I bet you have people in your family that says, I've tried church and it don't work. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
I've tried God and He doesn't work. I've tried your method and it doesn't work. Let me ask you a question. Are they telling the truth or not? Why it's not working? But it's obviously not working. What's not working?
They are not.
They're not working. If the Bible says something that it will work, God has a reason. It will work out the way He wants it to, not the way we want it. And I think that we can't question God. Now, we can question God and say, God, I just need wisdom. Give me wisdom how to do this. So, what human beings can brag that His words are always fruitful, what human being can brag that his words are always fruitful, productive, accomplishing results, and fulfilling all his desires? My desire is for me to live as Christ and to die as gain. My desire is to fulfill God's desire. No one can other than God. Our words more often are in vain than not, right?
Yeah.
I will, and they say that, they really mean that. So when we speak a spiritual logic, we must first acknowledge the source of that knowledge and understand that it is God's character and nature that molds spiritual truth and governs the logic of it. So the basic premise of the Bible is, in the beginning, God. And if you read the book with all that, any other bias, you will begin to not comprehend it. If you say, well, the Bible's just not true. Well, then, you can't go to the Bible then. Who am I going to go to for truth? Dr. Spot? He's dead, isn't he? Who am I going to go to for truth?
Phil Donahue.
Phil Donahue, you remember him? You remember,
Oh,
You
yeah.
remember Phil Donahue? Who,
Oh, yes.
You know what he did? You know what Phil Donahue did, and then of course Oprah started it. Here's what they do, right? They make sin look common.
Yeah, sure they do.
That's what they did. They paraded across the screen the commonality of divorce, homosexuality,
Sure.
lesbians, transites, all of the queers,
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
and they made them look normal.
Right.
And most of the time they do look normal. They portray the best. Only on Murray, is that his name?
Maury, yeah.
Maury, he's the only one that, I think all that's put on anyway. But why anybody would look at that, I don't know. And secondly is, so we shouldn't do that. So we speak of logic then. Hebrews 11:6, notice what it says. Hebrews 11:6 says, but without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to God must believe what? What should we believe? That he is.
But he is a rewarder of them that
Diligently
diligently
seek
seek him.
Is that true or is that not true?
It's true.
This is why the Bible is a faith book. And we must have faith to understand it. The author's logic is beyond human logic. And we cannot possibly comprehend all there is to know about him. So there is a decree of humility that comes with yielding to his higher thoughts of God.
Yeah.
Lord, I have to yield. I'm telling you. I fully don't get it. I mean, sometimes I just don't get it. I don't understand why there is not more to what I think should be when I can't give the increase. God has to give the increase. Look with me to Romans 12:2. So there is a degree of humility that comes with yielding to the higher thoughts of God, and faith is required because it is beyond human understanding. Phyllis, Romans 12:2.
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Now, this doesn't mean that you have to park your brain at the door
No.
and not use your God-given mental ability. It does mean that you need to renew your mind to receive the higher logic of God.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem logical, Dad. You should not run and play you should not play on the railroad track, son. Yeah, but it's so much fun. Yeah, right. The Greek word for renewing here it means a renewal or a complete change for the better. Transformed in the Greek is a word meaning change into another form, to transfigure, as when Christ appeared on the Mount of Transfiguration. 1 Corinthians 2, 1 Corinthians 2:11, Lois.
For what man knows the things of a man, save the spirit of man which is in him? Even so the things of God knows no man but the Spirit of God.
So spiritual logic revolves around God's thoughts. What does God think about it? Why do you have to say that for? What do you think, Pastor? Let's see what God says. Why do you have to say that? What do you think? When you come to me, you say, Pastor, what do you think about this? Do you want my thoughts or God's thoughts? And I have my thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts, right, Bill? We have a lot. I mean, our thoughts are our thoughts. I have thoughts. Yeah. It's best sometimes not to say them.
Yeah.
True.
Most of the time, it's best not to say our thoughts.
Yes, it is. That is true, Charles.
They can get out of control.
Yeah.
Right, Bill? No, Bill's not okay. He was on him. All right. 1 Corinthians, Jimmy, chapter 2, verse 14. 2:14.
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolish.